In my previous video for Elden Ring, we had a look at a bleed build, but what I did was put Swarm of Flies on that build, and Swarm of Flies scales with fire damage, so I thought, what if we could become some sort of pyromancer, flame sort of character in the game and just base ourselves on fire? And then upon doing a bit of research, I come across these two incantations that look a little something like this. So the first one is going to chuck a massive explosive fireball, and the second one is going to do this. It's going to chuck smaller explosive fireballs, but there are lots and lots of them. So welcome back to Elden Ring. In this video we are taking a look at a faith build that is going to be based purely on fire and flames. So it's essentially a pyromancer faith build. And just quickly before we do get into this one, if you are not currently subbed to the channel, make sure you do sub, turn notifications on. We are so close to 100,000 subs now, and I would appreciate it if you did join me on this journey. Also, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like, and if you want to support me further as a creator, then check out the links in the description. And let's get into this Elden Ring faith build that is going to be a lot of fun chucking fireballs at the enemies. So, starting off this build, we are going to be using the Jellyfish Shield because we are going to be using the skill and getting ourselves an extra 20% damage. That is also the reason we are using it in our main hand, because when you switch over from this, you cannot keep that buff. So put it in your main hand, that way you can use the seal in your offhand to cast your incantations and still get the buff of the Jellyfish Shield. I would also recommend Commander Standard, but it doesn't stack with Golden Vow, so it is not going to be beneficial to the build whatsoever. Then in our offhand we are running the Giant Seal. This is going to have S tier scaling for faith, and the biggest reason we are using this seal is because the passive effect will boost Giantsflame incantations. So in terms of the armor for this build, I am going to run Mirai's Mask. It's all completely optional. I've then got the Black Flame Monk armor, I've got Alberic's bracers, and I've just got the standard astrologer trousers. And we will look a little something like this, which I think is way more fitting than the raptor's black feathers. In terms of the talismans, you are going to need to get Godfrey Icon, because with the incantations we are using, you are going to charge them for a lot of extra damage. Then because the build is based on fire, we are running the Fire Scorpion Charm, and then because it's based on incantations, we have Flock's Canvas Talisman, because it greatly raises the potency of your incantations. And then just to get another buff on top of it, whilst our health is at maximum, we will be able to raise the attack power running Ritual Sword. As stated, this is an Elden Ring Faith build, so in the Flask of Wondrous Physic we have the Faith Not Crystal tier, which is going to take our Faith from 55 up to 65, and that will last an entire 3 minutes, alongside the Flame Shrouding Cracked tier to boost our fire attacks. When it comes to the incantations, the two primary incantations we are going to run are going to be Golden Vow for the damage increase or the attack increase, and Flame Grant Me Strength, because Golden Vow and Flame Grant Me Strength work together, they stack multiplicatively, and the Flame Grant Me Strength is going to raise your fire affinity attack power. We are also going to run Swarm of Flies, however that's not really going to be used that much, it's just an extra option out there. And if we take a look at the available fire-based incantations, we've got Fire's Deadly Sin. You can run any of these, it's just I've used the two that pretty much have the highest faith requirements, because they seem to deal the most damage and they're just the most fun out of the incantations. So then we do have Burno Flame, we've got Whirlo Flame, then we've got Flame Sling and Catch Flame, but the two we are running are Giantsflame Take Thee and Flame Fall Upon Them. So the one that scatters out all the fireballs will be Flame Fall Upon Them, and the Giantsflame Take Thee will be the big giant explosive fireball. And as you can see, Giantsflame Take Thee requires 30 faith, and Flame Fall Upon Them requires 28. So now we've had a look at the build itself. If I come out here and I just charge a Giantsflame Take Thee, and launch a massive fireball at the dog, is dealt 34-26 without any buffs from the build. And one of the best things about this is you do not need to be locked onto your enemy. You can free throw these incantations, and it's actually going to be more beneficial, because you'll see that I missed. So I get a little bit closer and he's actually going to try and eat me. I am so sorry, merchant. Oh, leave his mount alone. So there we go. There was a lot of damage there as well. It's really, really good. But if we come back out here and we use a flame fall upon them, then if we chuck them, 2,000 damage. It's got an AoE effect because you are chucking multiple fireballs. And again, you do not need to be locked onto your enemy. So if we now use Swarm of Flies, this is fantastic in any form of a bleed build, fire build or anything, because it is a blood incantation, but it does stack with fire damage as well. I would strongly recommend going with blood sort of build up instead of fire, but fire will give it extra sort of benefits. But then, because we are going to be primarily focusing on the 2 fire incantations themselves, if I drink my flask, then proc Golden Vow, then do Flame Grant Me Strength, and then do the Jellyfish Shield, it's going to use a lot of FP, there's a lot of buffs and everything, but if I come over to the dog and I lock onto him, I charge it up, please don't eat me. There we go, 7,430 damage. The fireball is huge. It explodes on impact. It deals a lot of damage. It is so much fun to run this build. And what makes it even more fun is when we do buff the build up again, and we use the other fire incantation, we are going to absolutely destroy big groups of enemies. So hopefully the rams don't ruin this one. And there you go. Over 5,000 damage hitting that dog with a fireball. And that was the smaller fireball. Then with something like Whirlo Flame, it's kind of like a corkscrew of fire. And the range is pretty good on it. Then you have Burno Flame. And this one will just... yeah, I don't even know how to describe it. And then if we come over to the dog again, if I use Whirlo Flame, look at how cool that is. That corkscrew of fire has just absolutely ruined that dog. Over 5,000 damage. Because it just ticks a few times as the corkscrew is going through the enemy. Then if we check out Burno Flame, and I use this, place it down on the ground, 4,000 damage, not bad, but it's got an AoE effect, so you are going to be able to deal with multiple enemies at the same time. So that was a look at a pyromancer fire-based faith build in Elden Ring, and that is going to wrap up the video. Let me know your thoughts and stuff in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed it.